Welcome to the Political Matrix News. Politics, people, local, regional, national news. Political Matrix News keeps you informed. We have the sources, we have the truth from inside the political matrix. Once again, sports fans, we have decided to do the Political Matrix blogcast. Welcome. It is the last day of April, the last hours of April as we do this. For Tuesday, the 30th, Jonathan Cole, our terrific Democrat. It's not often I say that, but I do respect his opinions. May not agree with policy, but, you know, that's the way politics is. Jonathan joining us from Navarre, Florida, almost to the western frontier of the Sunshine State. Greg Fink is holding court in Gainesville, where something screwy has been going on with the elections office there, but we only have a half hour to discuss it all, and Lord knows how bad they're screwing things up. But listen, It's 2024, and they can't even do a school tax election. Things really do suck. In what county is that?
That's Alachua County.
Alachua County.
Right.
Well, way to go, Alachua County. Let's start setting a new low in Florida politics. Congratulations. Well, guys, what's your hot button for the week, young Jonathan?
I think we were going to talk about the news that came out today of the federal government's in the works. It's been in the works for a long time, but to actually finally move marijuana from a class 1 narcotic to a class 3 narcotic, which has, as we were saying, doesn't mean it's legal across the country for recreational use, but it opens a lot of doors, especially for research and actually federally funded institutions. It gives it some FHA protection, or FHA, sorry. It's been a long day. Food and drug. It puts it in the same classification now as ketamine and anabolic steroids, as opposed to heroin and meth and all the other good stuff. So
how does this affect the banking issue of it?
The banking?
Good one.
I think that's one of the reasons why they're trying to push it to a Schedule 3 is so that they could, some banks could actually work with it.
So this came up. I can speak on this on authority. So I sell point of sale systems, which means credit card processing. Until now, no matter how noble, we could not do credit card processing for anything related to marijuana. Even if it was a doctor's office that writes the prescription or a dispensary, it's federal banking law. You're on your own. So that does open up that door as well.
That's good. I mean, I do think it's going to cause a lot of confusion, though, because a lot of people are trying to make it the recreational legal. And what's the point of making a ballot initiative to change your constitution if it's already Schedule 3?
Well, let me jump in here. I know that there are marijuana dispensaries, especially in Colorado, that for years they have to keep buying safes because, and they've actually, a group of them went in and bought a bank that was out of business, an empty bank building.
Right.
And they had to have room for their cash.
Correct.
Like millions and millions and millions of dollars in cash.
Exactly.
And this is not like somebody was rolling in it, but literally since they opened the dispensaries, the money has been rolling in. And Greg and I have a mutual friend who had already come up with a way to do it through a credit card processing company where out of Canada.
Right.
But it never happened, and I don't know why. People have a fear. But, there's nothing to do right now because they're just talking about it. They haven't changed the rule effectively. It's going to be a while. And so I guess you can make all preparations and get all the contracts signed and, get all your machines and wiring.
Yeah, that it's finally in motion, though. It's been discussion for a long time, but there actually seems to be some motion for a change.
And Biden's
in Colorado's instance, I had friends that left here and moved out there. They called it the Green Rush because all that money rolling in affected the entire economy. The economy of Colorado boomed for a couple of
Right.
years. Jobs were created, wages went up, and so
Well, the question is, who makes this choice? I mean, who makes the decision on this? Is it FDA? Is it Biden?
That's a really good question. It falls,
Because
FDA
Biden,
falls under, wait a minute, FDA falls under the Secretary of Agriculture.
right?
Okay,
right,
so there's that. Now, the Department of Justice also jumped in and said, hey, we're cool with this. You want to downgrade it? No problem. Now, the real question is, now you thought about banking. I'm thinking about how many, 100,000 people are incarcerated. Let's talk in the federal system alone. Easily 10,000 people with marijuana convictions hanging over their heads that
right,
are in federal prison. And all of a sudden, well, wait a minute. What you did and what the law now is you should have served 6 months or a year, and you're here going on 20. How many of these guys and some women are going to be cut loose from federal prison, and how soon? I'm going to guarantee you the prison facility at Softly Field in Pensacola and the other facility
yeah,
they have at Eglin Air Force Base
Right.
and the giant prison setup they have in Marion County just south of the Villages.
right.
Man, they're gonna need Greyhound bus loads of people moving out of there, But
So
again, that will take
yeah.
time.
And that's
Yeah, I mean,
another one
look,
I can speak on authority on. When a trip to Belize a couple of months ago, the tour guide was telling us that they have like 8 murders there a year, maybe. So, but a while back, they didn't make it completely legal, but marijuana's in a much better place, and they literally released 67% of the prison population in Belize
wow.
based off of just that. It was all marijuana possession.
But are we
So,
going to have that same issue here if we allow it on the ballot? I mean, when it's on the ballot, it becomes legal, and it's constitutionally part of Florida.
I guess if it's
Yeah,
a state law,
I mean, are all these prisoners going to get out then?
but it's still a federal.
right?
And
Exactly.
even decriminalizing it in Florida and a bunch of other states does
Yeah.
not necessarily make it. In
Right,
other
it's a
words, the
federal
federal
part.
government will say, well, maybe we don't want to
And what about
prosecute it.
the state prison for it?
We've already done that, haven't we? I know they did that. Greg Abbott did that in Texas. They cut 1,500, 2,000 people loose. This goes back a few years.
Yeah, I mean, in Florida, though.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah,
we'll
we'll
see
see.
what it does.
I had to look it up. So Health and Human Services made the recommendation. It looks like the DEA is the one that's making the move to declassify. So,
Okay.
They fall under the
Wow.
Department of Justice, don't they?
right. So it looks like what they're saying is it's happening. It's not official yet, but I have to agree. I think it sounds like Willie Nelson maybe, but you're talking about something that is a natural substance and comparing it to chemical substances, that and there's been informal research for years about possible health benefits. Well, now actually accredited laboratories can study those effects. So,
all right, yeah. Oh, I got to get in on this.
okay,
I was a news guy.
Mhm.
I was a news guy from the age of 18. I'm working in a top 40 market. One of my friends in Memphis invited me to a meeting of NORML, the National Organization for the Reform of Marijuana Laws. It was the 70s. They showed a film, because they didn't have videotape, of 4 college students at, I guess, Mississippi State. That's the ag school there.
Mhm.
Well, they had grown some Delta 9 and rolled a fatty, and the 4 guys, all college age, there's a clock behind them. They light it, take a big hit, and hold their breath for a while, and then they passed it around, and 45 minutes went by before any of them moved again. 45 minutes. The guy made the point. The researcher from Mississippi State made the point that about 20 acres of Delta 9 would keep the entire country stoned for a year. That's all you need.
Right.
And so I'm like, sure, what the hell research they need to do? You roll it, you light it, you smoke it, you get mellow. For the most part, you get mellow. Yeah. And it's been studied. That was 50 years ago.
Right.
50 freaking years ago. If you want to look at his study, let's look at Willie Nelson. How is he still alive? His 91st birthday was just in the last couple of days, but his line is, of course, roll me up and smoke me when I die. I think we should play some traveling music at this point. Brewer and Shipley, one toke over the line. Political Matrix broadcast continues with Greg Fink, Jonathan Cole, and I'm Rob Milford.
One toke over the sweet Jesus, one toke over the line. Sitting downtown at a railway station, one toke over the line. Waiting for the train that goes home, sweet man, the train is on time. Sitting downtown at a railway station, one toke over the line.